Alright guys, so in this module we're gonna study about how to read properties and Excel files. Basically this is a very important chapter because most of the part that we will be covering in this chapter we will be using it while implementing frameworks. So while implementing frameworks, let's say in Selenium that we will be studying about the XPath. XPaths are basically let's say they are used in finding the locating the objects on a web page. Let's say if there is a text box or if there is a link on a web page, then that link must have a XPath. There must be some property of that link or a submit button or a text box on a web page. It could be a name, it could be ID. XPath is basically found using those properties. So the properties file is a file. It's like a plain file, a notepad file. We'll be creating a property file, and inside that property file we will be keeping the properties of the objects that we're gonna identify. So means whatever test cases that we will be writing when we are working on a framework. So for my entire application, for my entire website, I will be keeping all the XPath of all the elements on a web page inside a properties file. And on the other hand, if we talk about an Excel file, so whatever the data that we will be reading, let's say data could be in a form of, let's say if I open this Excel file, there's a column username and the second column is password. So whatever data that I will be keeping over here, all this data will be read from the Excel file. Same way, there will be a sheet in which I will be writing my test case. My test case ID will be there, description will be there, and the run mode will be there. So this run mode will define, let's say this is my login test and this is my user registration test, and same way I have n number of test cases over here. So I'll be defining the run mode of these test cases over here. Let's say if I say the run mode as Y, then this test will be executed, and if I say the run mode as N, then this test will be skipped. So all this thing, the data inside the Excel file will be read with some logics. There are some methods that we're going to use in order to read the data from the Excel file. Same way we can read the data as well as we can set the data inside any cell of this Excel sheet. Right. So this is what we're going to see in this example, in this module of properties and Excel files, reading and writing. So what I'll be doing, I'll be opening the Eclipse first. I'll go to Eclipse. I'll open this Eclipse first. And I'll be selecting my workspace. So over here I can create a new Java project and give it a name as, let's say, Java Properties Excel. So first we're gonna see how we will be dealing with the property files. So property files, let's say if I talk about a property file, I create a new package over here and give that package name as, let's say, config, and inside this package I create a new, I'll click on others and click on general and click on files, and then I click on next. And over here I can give the file name. I can give any file name. So like I give the file name as object dot, the extension will be dot properties. So I click on finish and see this is a plain file that is being generated. Let's say over here I'll add some items over here. Let's say I'll add a student record. I'll say name equal to Raman, age equal to 28, course equal to Selenium, and then I can also add salary equal to 50,000. Right, so these are the things that I have for every value I have to assign a key. There is a key associated. So this name is a key which contains a value that is the name Raman. Then this age is a key that stores the value 28. This course is a key. This salary is a key. So what I will be doing, how I am going to read this property file. In order to read this property file, I'll create a new class. So how will I create a new class? Let's say I create a new package and give this package name as test. Inside it I create a new class and give the class name as, let's say, test case 1. Finish it. And here, now over here I will be calling the class that is properties. I'll create object of this class that is prop equal to new properties, and then in order to read a file we need to call a class that is file input stream. I'll create an object of this file as in file equal to, or I'll say FIS equal to new file input stream, and this accepts a constructor, and the constructor will be the path of your object.property file. So how will I get a path? I'll right click over here, I'll go to properties and I'll copy this path, and this is the path that I will be giving over here. And I need to put it in double backslash because Java accepts the path as double backslash. Like this, and then I'll be importing the property file, properties class, and then the file input stream. Right, now what I'll say prop dot load. There is a method load that accepts this input stream, so I'll give the input stream as FIS, and this property file will be loaded. Now I need to add this declaration, add this exception, and over here add this exception as well. Right, now if I write system.out.println prop dot get property, and here I need to specify a argument, and that argument will be a key from this object.properties file. Right, so let's say the key is name. Let's say I want to read the name. So what I'll do is, instead of this, I'll say the name and then save it. It's giving some error over here, so let's say what this error is all about. just 1 second. Dot get property, sorry, dot get property, and I'll give the property as name. Okay, it should be inside the double quotes. So I'll save it and run it, and as soon as I run it, it will gonna print the name. So this is how we will be keeping all the elements XPath inside it. And let's say if I need to read the other property, same thing I'll be doing. I'll say system.out.println prop dot get property, and here I'll say the course, and then save it and run it, and it will print the course as Selenium. So this is how we will be reading the data from the properties file. Now if I show you one of my framework code over here, so this is like one of the object.property and config properties. In config property I have kept my test site, and in object properties I have kept the XPath, and I have assigned a key to each XPath. So I'll just be calling this key. I don't have to write this XPath. I just be calling this key, and next time if the XPath is changed, just I need to replace the existing one, right? So I won't be doing any changes inside the code, because I'll be copying all these keys only and not the XPath, right? Now the other thing that I can do is, let's say if I write system.out.println system.get property, and over here I'll say user.directory, and if I run it, then it will give me my current directory of this project, right? So instead of writing this over here, instead of giving this much path, what I can do, I can simply copy this and paste it over here like this up till this path. So what I'll do, I'll paste it like this and concatenate the rest of the path, right? So then again also it will be taking the current directory path, and then the source folder, config, and then the object or properties. Now what is the benefit of doing this? If I run this, it will gonna give me the same result. Now what is the benefit of writing this as like this? So let's say if I have this framework, I have this code on my system, and let's say if I am migrating this code to some another system, or let's say if I am giving this code to another tester, then what happens, that this was the path, this is the path that is there on my system, that is C drive, Selenium, batch, and then this path is there in my system, right? This is there in my system. Now if someone else has to use this code, then he has to change the path over here, right? Now this system.get property user.directory will give you the current location of your project. So if you have written this, then this will be picked automatically, and then this path will remain the same, which is inside your current project, right? So this is the way, I mean, we will make it work on all the system. without changing the path again and again. Alright. Now before we proceed further, let's see some more examples of reading and writing in a file.